Will admitted to me that he had sex with Bryshere Gray, but it was consensual, right?
You know Will raped me. You know Diddy made me suck his penis. You know what's going on. You know Charlie made me suck. Well, I'm gonna give you a chapter from the book since I owed you something.
Okay.
In the book, in one of the chapters, they talk about mentorship. So I grabbed my husband. I said, listen, I don't know. I didn't know what happened. Nothing. I was just asked to come.
Is this true?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna let you about to see if it's true from the paperwork. Oh, we telling something that got paperwork involved.
Both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
A lot of stuff is about to come out about Will, Jada, and Charlie Mack. It is gonna be unbelievable.
It's no secret in Hollywood that Jada hates me because I have a strong relationship with Will, and I do my own thing.
Why don't she hate Dwayne?
I can't answer that question.
Why don't she hate Dwayne Martin?
Well, she's gonna love anybody that treats her like she's a god, right? When you're a narcissist and a sociopath like she is, and I'll get into that.
Everyone thought they knew the real Will Smith, the global superstar, family man, box office legend, and once beloved face of Hollywood's cleanest brand. But what if behind the scenes, behind the fame, the red carpets, and the iconic Fresh Prince smile, there was a far darker reality unfolding? What if the so-called mentorships he offered weren't about lifting young stars up, but about pulling them into something they'd never escape from? Because according to his former assistant and longtime friend, brother Bilal, that's exactly what was happening. And if the court filings, NDA demands, and sudden silencing campaigns are anything to go by, Will Smith may not just be fighting for his career anymore, but for his freedom. This isn't just about rumors. This is about a rising star named Bryshere Gray, best known as Hakeem Lion from Empire, whose once promising career collapsed into chaos, drug abuse, and arrests after allegedly enduring abuse at the hands of the very mentors who promised to guide him. And the people involved? Will Smith, Diddy, Charlie Mack, and yes, even Jada. If you thought the Tasha K interviews were wild, you haven't heard the whole story. This rabbit hole goes deeper than anyone expected, and the receipts are surfacing fast. Before we uncover how a young black actor was allegedly chewed up and spit out by Hollywood's elite, do me a favor, tap that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next jaw-dropping truth they don't want you to hear. Because trust me, this one's different.
You know, he's surrounded by a whole lot of strength. He's surrounded by a whole lot of love. And all he has to do is add discipline, and he's gonna be all right.
It's like Uncle Will, you know? Who is best to give you advice? And it's Will Smith, and I'm getting so much good advice.
You know, but when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and picked out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
Open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up on him. Murder, like murder. It was murder in there.
It all started when Bilal sat down for an explosive, now viral interview and claimed that Will Smith not only had a sexual relationship with Bryshere Gray, but that it wasn't consensual. In Bilal's words, Will admitted it happened but insisted it was mutual, even though Bryshere begged him to stop. That one-word stop was apparently said mid-act, but Will, according to Bilal, continued until he finished. That alone is enough to send shivers down your spine, but it didn't stop there. Bilal says he watched Bryshere spiral after the incident spiral so hard he was found tangled in arrests, erratic behavior, and eventually began performing with men online just to survive. Bilal paints the picture of a broken man, blood leaking from his nose, balled up in a corner, crying, begging not to be exposed. And when Bilal pushed Will for answers, Will allegedly confessed but with no remorse. That's when the NDAs came flying in. Will and Charlie Mack, according to Bilal, tried to force a mutual NDA between him and Bryshere, one that would silence both sides, erase the truth, and lock everyone's lips. But Bilal refused. He says he never signed anything and wasn't about to start covering for a man who had done the unthinkable. At that point, Jada allegedly stepped in and things turned lethal. According to Bilal's $3 million lawsuit, Jada threatened him face-to-face, told him to stop talking, and warned him that if he kept running his mouth, he'd end up missing or catch a bullet.
Before we put out the interview, all we put out was a clip that went ultra viral. Okay?
Yeah.
Everybody in the world got this clip. It was trending for days on Twitter, okay? Before the interview comes out, what shocked me is Jada is doing her book promotional for Worthy.
Yes.
She goes to the Breakfast Club and she sits down and they ask her about you, but they can't not ask. Like, it's so huge.
Right.
And to my surprise, she answers.
It's ridiculous, right? And it's nonsense. And this is a person that tried a money shakedown that didn't work. We're gonna take legal action.
The reason Will responded, the reason why Jada responded, because they know it's true. Will's never responded, and they responded in less than 9 hours.
They did. That was a fast response.
That was because he know what I saw in that dressing room. He know other things that I saw. She did all this to try to scare me, but I fear no one but Allah. Jada, listen, in 2 weeks, if you don't sue me in 2 weeks, if Tasha K will have me, I'm back here and I'm dropping evidence, period. You said I extorted you. You said there's a money shakedown. You said a lot of things about me, and you know that the things that you said were untrue. Let's get into a little bit more of it. Jada runs Will, period. Me and her at war. I'm gonna put Will to the side. Will is to the side. Me and Jada, I will say this because I know you're watching. I know Karen Tense is watching.
Who's Karen Tense?
That is her PR person for years.
Okay.
Right? I know they're watching. Jada, you're a bald head liar and you're a drug addict, right?
Oh, God.
You told the world that you were going to sue me.
Ooh.
As of yet, and you said you're going to do it swift. It's been over 2 weeks. So Jada, I'm giving you 2 more weeks to sue me. If you don't sue me, this is what's going to happen. All the parties, right? And the men that you hit with dildos, I'm naming names, right? All the salacious stuff that you have done and hurt other people, I'm naming names. You assassinate my character. You say I extort you. Well, extortion is criminal. Like, I would be in jail right now if I tried to
This wasn't just a PR cleanup, this was intimidation. Allegedly, she followed him into a parking lot, her PR rep Karen Tenser by her side, demanding he sign the NDA or else. After that, Bilal says the threats only escalated. And just when you thought the storm had passed, Bilal returned to Tasha K for a second round, daring Jada to sue him. He even gave her a 2-week deadline, threatening to expose everything, including the parties, the men she allegedly assaulted with objects, and the full list of those who were victimized in silence. At this point, Jada's silence spoke volumes. No lawsuit ever came, no denial, just threats. But let's rewind to how Bryshere even got caught in this alleged trap. It starts with Charlie Mack, Will's former right-hand man and Bryshere's then manager. According to Jaguar Wright, who has backed Bilal's claims in multiple interviews, Charlie Mack worked out a deal with Bryshere's mom, Andrea Mayberry, to essentially hand him over to Will and Diddy under the guise of mentorship. And if you look at the footage from back then, Bryshere was starry-eyed, calling Will Uncle Will, glowing with gratitude, saying he was getting amazing advice from one of the greatest. He truly believed this was his big break. But according to Jaguar, and later Bilal, what was really happening behind closed doors was grooming, a mentorship program designed not to elevate but to exploit. a funnel that started with Charlie Mack, ran through Will, and ended in Diddy's freak-off parties. Jaguar claims Will and Diddy were passing around young black talent like toys at a billionaire's playhouse, and that Bryshere, along with others, were caught in the middle. And here's the terrifying part, Jaguar says.
Long story short, when I'm in Chicago, this guy's acting erratic. Like, I mean, crazy. He's getting stopped by the cops. There's male prostitutes involved. There's mental illness involved. There's drug use involved. And I'm really trying to see what happened to this guy. And one day he said, you know what happened. You know that Will R-worded me, or however y'all kind of say it on YouTube. You know that Diddy assaulted me. And you know Charlie Mack made me suck his private part. Right? And I'm like, whoa. This was a full admittance. And he's going, and I'm like, I didn't know anything. He's in the corner, balled up, snot, so much sweating and pain that blood is coming from his nose, right? And this is me and him in a conversation. And he was like, please don't tell him, please don't tell him, right? Will admitted to me that he had sex with Bryshere Gray, but it was consensual, right? So I'm like, okay, so now it's starting to make sense, because I would have never believed that the way this guy's acting, something had to happen. So now, Will told me, and this is going to be in paperwork and everything, right? So when Will told me that he did have sexual intercourse with Bryshere, he said Bryshere did ask him to stop. Will said he completed the act, then stopped. Right then and there, when a person say stop, that means stop. Period. So I do believe that Will Smith assaulted Bryshere Gray. Charlie Mack and Will gets a lawyer for Bryshere, and they try to get me under NDA. I tell Will, I'm not signing. I don't even have an NDA with you. How am I getting an NDA with him? You understand what I'm saying? So I hire a lawyer, right? Mm-hmm. When I hire the lawyer, he comes back and say, listen, this is the best I can do. He said, I'm going to have y'all do a mutual NDA, meaning that Bryshere can't tell people that you know that Will and Diddy assaulted him. And I want to say the R word, but I know we're on YouTube. Then you can't say nothing about him. So I said, okay, well, as long as he stopped telling people that I know what Will and Diddy did to him. You understand what I'm saying? Period. That was the problem. So there's legal paperwork, and it's all going to be, and you got to follow this case. All that's coming out in court.
Bryshere tried to lawyer up that after Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy dropped, Bryshere was ready to file his own $50 million lawsuit detailing everything. But just like that, he vanished from the public eye. Jaguar claims he was threatened into silence, that his mental health was intentionally destabilized, that his image was sabotaged so he'd lose all credibility, and that the tape, yes, the tape could be used against him. Because according to Jaguar, there's a freak-off tape that exists, one that allegedly shows Will, Diddy, Jaden, Justin Bieber, and Bryshere involved in a horrifying session that's been buried deep in the shadows. And if that's not shocking enough, she says she's one of the few people who's actually seen it. The implications of that tape would destroy careers, end marriages, and possibly send people to prison. But instead, what we saw was Bryshere's career vanish. After Empire ended, he was arrested in Arizona, accused of choking a woman for hours. Before that, his wife had reportedly run to a gas station begging for help, saying she'd been held hostage. When police arrived, it took a SWAT team to coax him out of the house. And when his mugshots dropped, the internet barely recognized him. He looked shattered. Gone was the polished actor. In his place was a man who had been through something soul-destroying. And now, with Bilal's interview, the dots start connecting. If what he's saying is true, then Bryshere didn't just lose a career, he lost his sense of self. Bilal alleges that Bryshere's mother knew what she was doing, that she was complicit.
Man, Charlie Mack, so Charlie was with me every step of the way. First out the limo, so Charlie has been with me, 30 years coming up in the business. So, he's surrounded by a whole lot of strength. He's surrounded by a whole lot of love. and all he has to do is add discipline, and he gonna be all right.
It's like Uncle Will, you know? Who is best to give you advice? And it's Will Smith, and I'm getting so much good advice. I got my first acting role, Empire, and it's changing my life. And it's like I'm listening from the greatest, and it's like making me well prepared.
Bryshere Gray, one of the stars of the hit show Empire. Tonight we're seeing hours of new video from his July arrest that ended with his wife flagging down police and telling them the actor had assaulted her for hours inside their Goodyear home. The bizarre jailhouse interview lasting for 2 hours as they try to piece together a chaotic chain of events.
That she allowed her son to be groomed in exchange for fame, pretending to be a strong single mom while secretly facilitating her son's access to powerful predators. Jaguar even claims Andrea Mayberry lied in her memoir and that her only real contribution was playing gatekeeper for her son's abusers. That level of betrayal is hard to even comprehend. But the story doesn't end there. Jada allegedly continues to protect Will, shielding him with silence, denial, and NDAs. And while she promotes her book Worthy, a storm brews underneath one made up of boys who fled her house, screaming, mentorships that ended in trauma, and insiders ready to spill. According to Bilal, even Meek Mill allegedly ran from the Smith household. August Alsina, the only one who stayed, ended up needing a doll, a haunting reference to his breakdown. And as for Jaden, Jaguar Wright says he left home at 15 because he couldn't take what was happening under Will's roof. These aren't coincidences, they're patterns. Repeated signs that something is very wrong in the kingdom of Smith. And if Bilal is bluffing, why hasn't he been sued yet? Why hasn't Will filed a defamation suit? Why did Jada's threats never turn into court filings? Because when someone has nothing to lose, they speak freely. And Bilal is speaking like a man who's been silenced for too long. His claims may be shocking, they may be uncomfortable, but they are now out in the open, and the world is watching. From NDAs to court battles, threats to hidden tapes, the truth about Will Smith, Bryshere Gray, and Hollywood's mentorship machine may finally be unraveling. The only question is, who else is going to come forward before this scandal explodes?